Hello guys, Rollback1 here, coming at you with a hand testing video today, along with Charmander as always. And the deck we're hand testing today is obviously going to be, well, the Nekroz deck that I showed you guys the other day. Seeing as, well, I've shown you the whole deck, I've told you about it in depth, the reasons why we've got these specific cards in it, the combos, specific things, but it's always better to show you guys the combos that the deck has, to show you guys how the deck runs, and show you just what random hands and things you can do with random hands, because, well, the deck's really fun, the deck's really nice, and, well, showing you the random hands just gives you more ways to see what it can do. So today we're going to be showcasing some random hands with my Nekroz deck that I showcased to you guys the other day, and hopefully you will enjoy. So let's go ahead and draw our first 5 cards, see what we get, and hopefully it'll be a playable hand, because obviously you can get those hands that are just unplayable, but a lot of the time you can get hands that are. So let's see. So we start off with Rota, Brionic, Trishula, Klaus, and 003. So this hand is actually insane for the pure fact that we opened the 003. Any hand that we open 003 is pretty much full combo and will allow you to go into an insane end board. So now that we've done it, let's go ahead and showcase the actual combo with 003 before I say anything else. So we'll go ahead and summon the 003, declare effect to go ahead and summon a 001 from the deck. Summon 001 in defense mode. We'll then go ahead and link the 001 and the 003 to go ahead and summon the Crystal Haki Fibrax, and we'll use the Haki Fibrax to summon a 001 from the deck as well, seeing as we only play 2 for this exact reason. So we'll go ahead and summon that there, like so. We're then going to go ahead and link summon again, and we're going to summon out Mech Phantom Beast Aurorodon, and we're going to use Aurorodon's effect to go ahead and summon 3 tokens, which I'm going to use these random sleeves that I have to represent as level 3 tokens, because, well, I ain't got any tokens on hand right now. So we've got 3 level 3 tokens on the board. Now, when these 3 level 3 tokens are summoned, we get to go ahead and use the 2 001s in our graveyard, triggering them both, and special summon them both in defense mode. So now we've got 3 level 3 monsters and 2 001s on the board. What we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and use the token and the 001. Go ahead and summon out the first Herald of the Arclight. We're then going to go ahead and use the second token and the other 001 to summon out our old entity, Kafugus. Now, we've got the Herald of the Arclight and the Kafugu unlock, so what we're going to do next is we're going to overlay these 2. And we're going to go ahead and summon out Dagusto Emerald. Kafugu will trigger because it was summoned under Dagusto Emerald, and we'll draw 1 card. And that card is Preparation of Rise, so that's pretty strong. We're then going to go ahead and detach 1 material from our Dagusto Emerald, and we're going to put back Elder Entity Kafugu, Despot 003, and our Crystal Haki Fibrax all back to the extra deck. And the 001 free goes back to the main deck. So we put those back, shuffle this into the deck, and we draw another card. So literally just with 1 Dagusto Emerald, we've drawn 2 cards because of Kafugu. Literally great cards. Great cards. So we draw 1 random card, and as long as it's not the Cult Wing, we're fine. We're fine. So now that we've gone ahead and drawn 2 cards, we're going to go ahead and use our Mecha Phantom Beast Aurorodon, which will go ahead and tribute Dagusto Emerald, and also the other token, sending these 2 to the grave, to summon a Cult Wing from the deck. So wherever Cult Wing is, there it is. So we summon Cult Wing, and then we'll also trigger our Herald of Arclight as chaining 1 and our Cult Wing as chaining 2. I actually know this is a mandatory effect, so this has to be chaining 1. So this is chaining 1, and that's chaining 2. At least I think this is mandatory. Let me remind myself real quick. When this kind of special summon, switch from 2. Yeah, it's a mandatory effect. So this is chaining 1. Herald of Arclight is chaining 2. Sometimes we forget that mandatory effect, but because we've obviously got the Cult Wing and we're triggering the Herald, we got to look at our hand to see what we want to get. With the Herald, I think I'm going to go ahead and grab us a Nekroz Cycle. Sorry, no, a Nekroz Kaleidoscope. So we'll grab the Kaleidoscope from the deck. And we'll go ahead and summon back 2 more tokens. So. Okay, and because we summoned 2 more tokens that are machines, we go ahead and trigger both our 001s again, special summoning them both to the field. We're then going to go ahead and synchro again using the token and the 001, summoning out another Herald of the Arclight. We're then going to use the last token and the last 001 to summon Kafugu again. And what we do here is we go ahead and overlay the Kafugu, the Arclight, and the Cult Wing into our Prime Mathmech Albertian. We then go ahead and trigger chaining 1 as the Albertian effect, and then chaining 2 the Elder Entity effect. So we go ahead and detach all 3 of these, searching us a monster from the deck. The level 4 monster we're going to go ahead and search will be our Aerial, because we've already got a way to get the Unicorn with the Arclight. And then we'll go ahead and draw 1 card after that is resolved. Because obviously we get the draw. So we draw 1. It's a Brionic. Now, Herald of the Arclight will trigger, and we'll go ahead and search our deck for a Ritual Monster. Ritual Monster, we're going to go, well, Ritual card. Well, Ritual Monster, though, we're going to search is going to go ahead and be the Nekroz of Unicorn. So pretty good so far. So we've got the Nekroz of Unicorn. We've got the... Actually, no, we don't search the Unicorn. And there's a very specific reason we're not searching the Unicorn yet. We're going to actually go ahead and search out our Area Head. So we search Area Head to hand. And pretty much, we've got a huge hand. We've plussed... Like, we started with 5. We've now got 5 extra. We've gone plus 5 with 1 card. Well, actually, no, we've gone plus 7 with 1 card. So, pretty good so far. But what we're going to do now is, we're going to go ahead and use our Area Head to go ahead and send itself to the graveyard and tribute the Aerial in our hand. So we send both these to the graveyard, and we're going to send 1 Nekroz card from our deck to the graveyard. Now, it doesn't really matter what you send to the graveyard here. It's not a big deal. But we're just going to go ahead and send to grave... We're going to send to grave... Honestly, it doesn't matter. It just really does not matter. So we're just going to send a Colossus to the grave. And then Aerial will trigger because we tributed it for an effect. And we're going to go ahead and add to hand with Aerial a Nekroz card. And the Nekroz card we're going to add to hand will be the Nekroz of Unicorn. So we add that to hand. And so far, we've still not used any cards outside the 003 that we've added. So what we do next is we're going to go ahead and use the Kaleidoscope that we added, sending the last Arclight to the graveyard to go ahead and summon out the Nekroz of Unicorn. Then our Kaleidoscope, then our Arclight will trigger, and we're going to go ahead and add a a Ritual card from our deck to our hand. The Ritual card we're going to add is going to be our Cyber Angel Ben 10. Cool. Now, seeing as we've got the Ben 10 in hand, and we've got all these lovely cards in hand, we're going to continue on by then making our board. So we're going to build the rest of our board with what we have left in hand. So starting off, we're going to go ahead and use the Reinforcements of the Army, which is going to go ahead and add to our hand a Shret. Because Shret is just a really good card, and you want it in your hand because it's a full tribute. So we have the Shret. We're then going to go ahead and use our... You see, this is where it kind of comes down to it, because we could have technically sent a, instead of the Colossus, a Nekroz cycles the graveyard, so we could also go ahead and use the prep, and then recycle the ritual spell we sent to graveyard prep. But because I didn't do that, and because I'm an idiot and didn't realize I had it in hand, we're not going to have to do that. We're going to have to go ahead and instead use the Colossus in hand, which is going to go ahead and search us from our deck to our hand a Nekroz cycle. Like so. And that is going to be in our hand now. So we have the Nekroz cycle. And the final thing that we do is literally... Yeah, that does work. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and use our Nekroz cycle. And Nekroz cycle is going to go ahead and tribute Ben 10 as the first thing to tribute, and then Colossus as the rest of the tribute to the graveyard to go ahead and summon from the grave our Nekroz Area Head. We're then going to go ahead and trigger our Ben 10 and our Shret, which will allow me to go ahead and add, well, first with the Shret, it will allow us to add a Warrior to hand. The Warrior we're going to go ahead and add is just going to be a Brionic because we've got pretty much anything else, and we also see add the Christia with the Ben 10 to our hand. So, pretty much right now, we have all of this. We still have an additional 2 cards in hand outside of the 5 cards that we originally got, but we're not done because, well, we've got, well, 1, 2, 3, 4 fairies in the graveyard, right? So because we've got 4 fairies in the grave, we're going to go ahead and special summon our Christia, trigger Christia's effect, and we're going to go ahead and put a Herald of the Arclight back in the extra deck, because when it's summoned, we go ahead and put a fairy from our graveyard into our hand or our extra deck. So the end board right now is pretty much all of this in our hand. So we've got 6 cards in our hand still that we haven't used, 3 of them being Brio. We didn't use a single Brio Knack in the entire combo, and also a Tribute Negate, so we go ahead and tribute one of these cards in our hand and negate an opponent's monster effect. We've got an extra negate that stops them just from having any extra deck effects on the board, and we've also got a special summon negate as well that says, well, yeah, you can technically get rid of, stop this, but, well, I've still got a Christie that says you can't special summon in general. And that was all pretty much with 1 card. Sure, it did depend on what we drew and what we got off the cards, but this was 1 card. All of this was 1 card. These are negated. You can still technically use this as well, because you can go ahead and tribute itself to go ahead for under the Unicorn skill drain, but this is 1 card, guys. 1 card. 1. So literally 1 card equaled this, and I think that's absolutely insane how Nekroz have the ability to go ahead and get that kind of board with a full 1 card combo that just says, well, yeah, you can't do anything to me. So yeah, that was the first test hand though. Obviously, it's absolutely insane, and the fact we run the free Pot of Avarice is because, well, we can go ahead and just recycle all of this again and then do it all over again, which is just really good in my opinion. So playing the multiple Pot of Avarice is good for that reason alone. But yeah, that is the first test hand. It was just an insane board. That's the end board that you really want to end on. Now, there's sometimes times where you can't end on that, because if you don't draw the cards or you don't get the cards in the right order, you can't necessarily guarantee it. But obviously, as you saw, we drew absolutely insane. We got an insane end board. We did really, really well with it. And honestly, if there's ways to make it better, I would love to hear you guys tell me. But I think that's just absolutely insane. And the only thing that board really loses to is a Lightning Storm or a Raigeki. So yeah, those are the only 2 outs really, but no one's maining Raigeki and no one's maining Lightning Storm, so I would love to see my opponent try. I would really love to see it. But that was the first test hand. Let's go ahead and see if we can do it again, or you guys can see if you want to see it again, or if it happens again, we shall see. But obviously that was only the first test hand. I'm going to show you 2 more as standard for these hand testing videos, and we shall see what we can do. So go ahead and cut the deck in the fashions of normal, and we'll go ahead and draw the top 5 cards from our deck. And I drew 6, so we go ahead and put 1 back. So first hand, so the whole second hand technically, Vela, Prep, Ash Blossom, Brionic, and Preparations of Rites. So this hand is pretty much just go ahead and waste your first Ritual Summon to go ahead and go into normal combo. So we're just going to do that. So we'll start off by using the... Yeah, we go ahead and start off with Brio. Brio sent to Graveyard to go ahead and search a Colossus. Wherever it is. There it is. So get Colossus, discard Colossus, and then search a Ritual Spell. Ritual Spell we're searching is Nekroz Cycle. So we got the Cycle and we got rid of the class. We're then going to go ahead and use the Cycle, tributing Ash Blossom to go ahead and summon the Classless from the grave. And then we go ahead and normal summon Effect Tailor. And as I said in the deck profile, this is the reason we play monster hand traps. This is the reason. Like, you want the ability to go ahead and be able to normal summon this and then just be able to play the combo. So we're now going to go ahead and link summon. So we link summon the Hauki Firebrax. Hauki Firebrax will trigger, which will allow us to special summon one tuner from our deck, and the tuner we're obviously going to summon is going to be the 001. Like so. Now, the one bad thing with this whole situation is that, well, you can't really guarantee your end board like before. So the board does actually change now because of this kind of situation. Because we only have the 1001, and the 1001 isn't exactly ideal. But you can still do things with it, so we're going to go ahead and link summon out the Auroradon, and we're going to trigger the Auroradon, summoning out the 3 tokens. And then we use the 001, of course, which is going to go ahead and special summon. We're then going to go ahead and synchro the 001 and one of the tokens into our Now, you can either go into the Cthulhu, which isn't a bad choice, or you can go ahead and summon the Arclight. Again, not a bad choice. We're going to go ahead and summon the Arclight. To summon the Arclight, then we're going to go ahead and use the Auroradon to go ahead and tribute the 2 tokens. And special summon the Cult Wing, which is on the bottom of the deck. Being on the bottom of the deck, we never want to see it in our hand, to the board. We then go ahead and trigger its effect again, which will go ahead and summon 2 tokens, and then we go ahead and special summon the 001 from the graveyard. We're then going to go ahead and use a token and the 001 to go ahead and summon out another Herald of Arclight. We're then going to go ahead and overlay the Arclights, and we're going to summon the Duragis. Now, this is the reason we play the Duragis. It's because of when you hit this sort of board that you have to summon the Duragis to basically guarantee that you can do things. So we made the Duragis, and we're going to go ahead and use the Duragis to detach 2 to special summon 1 from the graveyard. And the one we're special summoning from the graveyard is the 001. We then trigger both the Herald of Arclights, searching us 2 ritual cards from the deck. The ritual cards we're going to search is going to both be a Nekroz of Unicorn and also a Kaleidoscope. Like so. And then we're going to use the last token and the 001 to go ahead and summon out the Cthulhu. We're then going to go ahead and overlay these 2. Summon out Daigusto Emerald. We're then going to use Daigusto Emerald, detaching the Cthulhu. Returning to the deck are... first we got to draw with the Cthulhu. So we draw 1 random card after we give it a quick shuffle. So we draw 1, it's a 003, so it's irrelevant, but it could have been relevant. It really could have. Then we detach this, and we go ahead and put 3 from our graveyard back into our decks. And what we're going to put back into the deck is the Halqifibrax, the... You see, it's a debate between the 001 and the Halqifibrax and the other stuff, but we go ahead and put back the Halqifibrax, the 001, because we did draw the 003, so we can do it all again next turn, to if we draw like Pot of Avarice. And also, we'll put back the Cthulhu. So we put these 2 back into the extra deck. And we shuffle the 001 into the main deck. Shuffle it out. Like so. As we do. And then we draw 1. And we draw another 003. So not the best draws, but they're there for that reason. Next though, we're going to go ahead and obviously use the Nekroz Kaleidoscope, which is going to send the last Herald of Arclight to the graveyard to go ahead and ritual summon on Nekroz of Unicorn. The Herald of Arclight in the graveyard will then trigger, which will allow me to search any ritual card. Now, we're going to go ahead and search a ritual spell. We're going to search a ritual Nekroz Mirror. And you're probably thinking like, why Nekroz Mirror? Why would you search Mirror here? Well, the whole reason behind searching Mirror here is because we have the preparations of rites. So we're going to go ahead and use both of them. So the first one's going to go ahead and search us the Ben 10, adding back the Nekroz Mirror, not the Kaleidoscope. So we had the Mirror. Cycle. Just the cycle. To hand. And then we use the second one, which is going to go ahead and add back the Kaleidoscope, obviously. And we'll also add a level 6 ritual monster to hand. The ritual will add to hand. Actually, no, because Mirror, if I could remember correctly, Nekroz Mirror can overlink? Over tribute, right? So it doesn't have tribute monsters from your hand or field, / or banish zone, monsters from your graveyard, then ritual summon ritual monster whose level exactly equals the total levels of the monsters. No, it doesn't. So we can't really do it the way I wanted to, but what we can do is we can go ahead and add to hand a Brio. So we have the Brio in hand now, so we can go ahead and go into our pretty much normal end board, but we don't have the other card. We don't have the new ritual monster. And we're going to go ahead and then use the Nekroz Mirror, tributing the Ben 10, to summon out the Nekroz of Brionac. Ben 10 will trigger. We'll go ahead and search from our deck to our hands the Christia, which is on top of our deck. Like so. Then we get to go ahead and special the Christia, and then Christia will trigger, allowing me to put a fairy back in my extra deck, and we'll put the Herald of Arclight back in the extra deck. So, just like the last end board, it's slightly different and took a bit more effort because obviously we only had 1001 to work with, which is why we play the Drees. But we still technically have 2 draws that we didn't use. We were only really able to make the board though because obviously we had double preps. But that's how Yu-Gi-Oh works. It's a random hand testing for a reason because we could make this board because of the preps, but if we did different things, it could be possible as well, such as maybe, I don't know, not using the cycle right at the beginning or not having to use the cycle. Like if we opened Kaleidoscope, or we opened a way to get to Kaleidoscope and also Nekroz of Unicorn, the board would have been a lot different because we wouldn't have the Unicorn on the board, but we would still have like a Nekroz cycle to put a tribute on board / negate. We would still be able to end on the Christia. It would be a completely different end board, and it really just does depend on the hand you get. Like, honestly, it's a debate. It's really different depending on what you get, and that's kind of like how the decks like this works and the hand combos works when it comes to things like this. But that was obviously a hand that we saw because we didn't draw the 003, but we did draw a tuner that we could normal summon, and we also drew a way to ritual summon, and that's sometimes what the board can end on when you get that. So let's go ahead and put the stuff back in the extra deck. The Herald of Arclights can go back, all of this good stuff can go back in the extra deck. And we'll shuffle up the deck one more time, see what we can get, and hopefully we'll get a pretty good hand, not an unplayable one. At least I hope it's not an unplayable one. Like, I wouldn't want to draw a hand that you can't do anything with, because if you draw a hand that you can't do anything with, what's the point? Like, Charmander, what's the point, man? It's like, there's no point in trying to play it. So let's go ahead and shuffle it up, see what we can get, and hopefully it's another hand where we can combo. So there we go. Give it a good cut. Yeah, good cut, and draw the first 5 off the top of our deck, all 5, and see what we got. So, we've got a Brionac, a Valkyrus, a Cycle, a Prep, and a Brionac. So, technically with this hand, we don't have the whole combo that we had before, but we do have things we can do. So, what we're going to do with this hand is, we're going to start off with the... It's debate, actually. Like, there's a few routes I could go down. I could go ahead and use the Brionac. Brionac gets me the Colossus. Colossus then gets me into that. And I can potentially end on the Christia on its own. Or I could end on an extra deck negate with a Christia in hand. You see, these are the hands that it's like where you don't have that one combo that you really do want to do, but you can't. Where you're like, what do we want to do here? So I think what we do with this hand is we go ahead and start off with the Brionac. And the Brionac searches us a Nekroz monster. Now the Nekroz monster that I would want to get is the Nekroz of Area Hair, but we can't get that with this because if we do, then we kind of stop. And we don't want to stop, so we can't get this. So instead, I think what we do is we just go ahead and grab... Yeah, we go ahead and grab us a Klaus. Go grab Klaus. Like so. And we use Klaus. Go ahead and search from our deck to our hand. A Kaleidoscope. And then we go ahead and use the Prep. Go ahead and grab from our deck to our hand the Nekroz of Unicorn. And from there we go ahead and use the Kaleidoscope to send Herald of Arclight to the grave. Summon out the Nekroz of Unicorn. Herald of Arclight will trigger. We go ahead and add from our deck to our hands a ritual monster. The ritual monster we're going to add is the Ben 10. There it is. Add that to hand. And what we do after we add the Ben 10 is we go ahead and use the Nekroz cycle. Go ahead and tribute the Ben 10, special summon the Brio back from the grave. And then Ben 10 triggers, which will allow us to search a fairy, which will be the Christia. Wherever it is, there it is. We have the Christia to hand. And then we have a choice of, do we want to tribute the 2 monsters we have to summon the Christia? Or do we just pass because we've got the Brio in hand to negate attack and we've got extra deck negation? Personally, with this type of deck, I would just tribute these because a lot of the cards in the game, decks in the game, rely on special summoning. So I would just tribute into the Christia and then watch my opponent burn, because if they do manage to summon a monster bigger, then I'll Valkyrus, I guess, and then just negate the attack, because if they have a way to boost it and get over it, then the Valkyrus would just prevent that in general. But that's a hand that doesn't have the Despot combo. Obviously, I've shown you a hand that has the full combo with the Halki Fibrax and can go into all sorts of different things. I've shown you the first combo, which was just absolutely insane and ends on the best board this deck can potentially make. And we've showed you the Christia pass, where you just literally use Brio, get the ritual spells, make a Christia and pass with Nekroz. That's how this deck played at one point. It really did. But yeah, that is the video though, guys. That's the hand testing video. I hope you did enjoy, because honestly, the combos that this deck has, in my opinion, are really insane. And from what the deck does and how the deck plays, I feel like it's just a really, really strong deck, and it's something that I really wanted to showcase to you guys. But hopefully you did enjoy it. Hopefully you enjoyed the Nekroz shenanigans with this Despot engine and being able to just make insane boards where you end on Christia, Unicorn, and the new Nekroz area head. It really is a cool deck, and I really do like Nekroz for that reason, because it can end on some really, really sick boards. But thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you did enjoy. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and tell me your thoughts on the deck and the combos that it has the potential of making or doing. And I'll see you all guys in the next one. Robot1 signing out with Charmander in the background, as always. Yeah, Nekroz is great, guys. It really is. It's a fun deck.